I sat quietly and listened to the preacher give the eulogy to my best friend. Cody was more than my best friend. He was the man I had loved since high school. Now I have lost him forever. I need to explain. I met Cody George on my first day in high school. He lived outside of town on a ranch. I lived in town, so we had gone to different grade schools, but the county had only one high school. It was just luck that we were in all the same classes. I always managed to sit next to that good-looking boy, and soon we were talking and comparing notes. Over the next month, we became friends, and by Thanksgiving, we were inseparable. Neither Cody nor I played sports, not the traditional sports anyway. Our school had a rodeo team, and Cody made the team. By our sophomore year, people were starting to take notice. Cody was good. I was at every event cheering him on. I remember one afternoon he was bucked off a rank horse that no one had been able to ride. I met him behind the chutes and was offering my opinions about how nobody could ride that horse. He stopped me. "Jesse, there never was a horse that couldn't be ridden, and there never was a cowboy that couldn't be thrown." I will remember that forever. His senior year, he received scholarship offers from universities that had rodeo teams. He turned them all down. Why? Terrorists had flown planes into the towers, and Cody thought it was his duty to go fight them. I disagreed. I tried to talk him out of it, but he joined the Marines and left after graduation. We were both still virgins. While Cody went to war, I went to college. I majored in banking and got a job in the summer working as a teller in our local bank. I wrote Cody letters and emails every chance I got. He always returned my letters, which kept me informed about his life. I was in college, away from home for the first time in my life, so I took advantage of my freedom like all my new friends. At a party one night, I lost my virginity. I did not tell Cody because I imagined he was drinking and carousing with his Marine buddies. When Cody came home, I was the assistant manager of the bank and in charge of the loan department. I was in a relationship with a guy I had met in college. Relationship is probably not the right word. It was more of a friends with benefits type of thing. Cody was single, but dating a couple of girls around the county. It was about 6 months after he came home that tragedy struck. His mother and father were both killed in a terrible traffic accident. Cody was an only child, so he inherited their small ranch outside of town. It was completely paid for, but his father did have an open line of credit with the title to the ranch as the guarantee. The line of credit was $50,000. The ranch was valued at much more than that. Cody was dating a girl who worked as a receptionist at a law office in town. There were rumors about her and one of the lawyers who worked there. He was married, but they were just rumors. After the death of Cody's parents, things seemed to heat up between this girl, Sue, and Cody. Within a couple of months, I heard that they had run off to Vegas and got married. To say I was heartbroken would be an understatement. I had always thought that one day, Cody and I would be together. We still talked, and I saw him every now and then around town with that blonde bimbo. There were still rumors about her and that married lawyer. I am sure Cody did not know. Many nights I lay in my bed wondering if I should tell him. I would think of all kinds of scenarios. Maybe Cody knows and does not care, or maybe he watches. He might think I am jealous and trying to cause trouble in his marriage. I was really torn about what to do. Then one day he called me with surprising news. His unfaithful wife is pregnant. 7 months later, the baby is born. Cody called me and wanted to meet me at the city cafe for lunch. He had pictures of the baby he wanted to show me. I went just to see Cody. I still love that guy. He was sitting at a table when I walked in. There were tears in his eyes. "Cody, what's wrong? Is there a problem with the baby or your wife?" "There sure is a problem," he is almost shouting as he hands me his phone. It is open to pictures of the baby. The baby is black. "What am I going to do? I'll tell you what I feel like doing. I want to find out who the father is and kill both him and that cheating wife of mine." "Calm down a minute. I don't want you to do that. You'll end up in jail for the rest of your life. Let's think this through." When does Sue get out of the hospital? Tomorrow, he replied. I imagine she has seen the baby. Of course, she was nursing it when I left. What did she say? I asked. She told me to get used to the idea of her messing around and me raising that kid. She says there is nothing I can do about it. She said that she and the baby were going home tomorrow and live in my house. If I decide to divorce her, I'll need to find another place to live. She said we live in a no-fault state, and I'll have to pay her alimony and child support since the baby was born during our marriage. It makes no difference if the kid is not mine. How the hell is that right? She cheated, not me. He was getting loud. Take a breath, Cody. He did take a deep breath, then continued. She told me I might even have to pay for the kid's college education. Can you believe that? Then after about 18 years of me paying everything, she will sell the ranch and send me 50%. That is, if I am still alive. That bitch laughed when she said that. Cody, breathe, I replied. Jesse, she knew exactly what to say to me. It was like she had been coached and had rehearsed that speech. She was laughing when I stormed out of the room. Cody, she works at a law office, and one of those lawyers is black. He is probably the father. He advised her on what the law is in this state and on what to say to you. I am not a lawyer, but I think it would be best for you to not be alone with her. She may call the sheriff and claim you were violent, and she is afraid you will harm her or the baby. If she gets you arrested, you will spend time in jail, and she will get everything in the divorce. I would offer you my spare bedroom, but that may raise problems also. I'll make some calls and get you a place. I called around as we waited for our food, and I did find him a place to stay. Then I started working on a plan. After lunch, I went back to work at the bank. Cody went home and packed up his things and moved to a place the bank had repossessed. It had a few acres and a barn, so Cody was able to take his horse. The next morning, while Sue waited for Cody to pick her up at the hospital, I met him in my office. I increased his line of credit on his ranch to $500,000 and had him withdraw it in cash. The place was valued at $750,000, so there was no problem. At the same time, he rented a safe deposit box. The money was not put in that box. Sue and the baby went home in a taxi. Cody did not answer any of her calls. Earlier that same morning, he had driven the few head of cattle he owned over to a neighbor's pasture. A couple of days later, he loaded them into trailers and hauled them to a sale barn. Sue gave up on trying to get Cody to talk to her and filed for divorce. Cody was served at his new place. At the first hearing, an attorney from the firm where Sue worked, not her baby's daddy, represented her. Cody did not show up but sent a lawyer from out of town, my friend with benefits. Of course, Cody was the bad guy. He abandoned his wife and new baby. The judge ordered him to pay everything, even her legal fees. Things were going according to my plan. Before the first payment to his unfaithful wife was due, Cody went on a ride with the sheriff's department. It was a trail ride to raise money for some charity the sheriff sponsored. There were over 100 riders that morning. After about 3 hours on the trail, they came to the Wolf River. It was running fast from the recent rains, so Cody said for everyone to wait, he would cross first to make sure it was safe. He was about halfway across the river when it happened. His horse spooked for some reason. Some thought it was a snake swimming in the river. Others said it was a log rushing by. Whatever it was had caused Cody to fall off. He was washed away in the current. The sheriff said the river got deeper just below the crossing, and Cody's boots probably filled with water and he drowned. His body was never recovered, and it is presumed that he washed downstream to where the river empties into the Missouri River. They searched for 3 days, then gave up and declared him dead. That brings us up to today. After the church service, everyone gathered at Cody's house, the house where Sue was living. There was plenty of food, a tradition in our part of the country. All Cody's friends were there, even some he had rodeoed with back in the day. One man was very vocal. I take exception to what that preacher said. Cody ain't never fell off a horse in his life. He might have gotten thrown, but the witnesses said he fell. Bullshit. I bet somebody shot him. Ronnie, that did not happen. I was there along with the sheriff and 2 deputies. Nobody heard a gunshot. That was said by another of our friends. Well, I ain't ever going to believe it. That guy was the best damn cowboy I ever been around. What a horrible way for him to die. Jesse, were you there? What do you think? Ronnie, I did not make the ride this year. I had something important to take care of that morning. I wish I had been there. You know, maybe I could have. The sheriff spoke up. Stop! There was nothing anybody could have done. It happened so fast. We searched for him, but he was just gone. I excused myself and left. 2 days later, Sue and her baby's daddy showed up at the bank. What the hell is this? I don't owe $500,000 on that ranch, no way. I searched through the files and pulled one out. I handed it to the black attorney. He studied them for maybe 3 minutes. Shit, Sue. This looks all in order. Cody borrowed $500,000 against the ranch a couple of days after the baby was born. How the hell could he do that? That ranch was ours. I did not sign anything, Sue replied. No, Sue. That ranch was willed to Cody by his parents. It was in his name only, and that credit line was put on the ranch by his father. He used it to buy and sell cattle. So, where's the money? She is pissed. The attorney takes over the conversation. Did Cody have an account here at the bank? Only the one in both Sue and Cody's name. There is less than $100 in that account. Sue is getting loud. What about a safety deposit box? Cody has one of those, I replied. Open it. That's where the money is, she shouted. I'll need an order signed by a judge, I replied. Open that goddamn box now. Calm down, Sue. Let me handle this. Your divorce was not final, so there should not be a problem. By law, you were still married to him at the time of his death. You are his widow. That seemed to satisfy Sue. She smirked at me, then they got up and left. There was a problem. The judge wanted to wait for a death certificate to be issued before he would give her permission to open the box. That took a couple more weeks. The bank sent another notice demanding their money and threatening foreclosure. Sue and her attorney were back with the order to open the box. I arranged for a locksmith to meet us, and we opened the box. It was empty. Sue was pissed. Where's the goddamn money? It just did not disappear. Can we look at the bank's video of the day Cody received the money? Maybe that will show something. That should not be a problem, I replied. We searched through the stored tapes until we found Cody standing at a teller's window. The teller counted the money and then put it in 2 of the bank's zippered money bags. Cody then walked over to the vault where the safety deposit boxes were, signed in, and disappeared with a bank employee into the vault. She exited and sat at her desk. In a few minutes, Cody exited carrying the bank bags and walked out the front door of the bank. What did he do in that room? He left with the money. Where is it? I need that money. Sue was getting loud again. This bank is going to take my home. Where am I supposed to go? You are going to have to help me. This is your kid. Find us a place. Calm down, Sue. Don't you dare tell me to calm down. This was your idea. You said I'd get the house and land. Now I've got nothing. He had her by the arm and was leading her towards the door. Let me go, asshole. I'm telling your wife. We'll see what she thinks about... She never finished. He slapped her so hard she fell to the floor. He stepped over her and left. The bank's security guard was helping her up when the sheriff arrived. I had called him when Sue had started screaming about the bank taking her home. The attorney spent a couple of nights in jail for assault and battery. Within a month, his wife started divorce procedures, and the bank foreclosed on Cody's house and land. I heard Sue sued her baby's daddy for child support, and won. She moved out of town, as did the attorney, after he lost his job and was suspended from practicing law for 6 months. Have you figured out that Cody is not dead? From the perspective of Cody, Jesse had a plan, and it sounded like it would work. I mean, what were my choices? Killing Sue and her lover was not one, nor was paying alimony to a cheating wife for the rest of my life while she lived rent-free in my house. I was not going to pay child support for a kid that is not mine either. Jesse knew I always helped on that charity ride, and that would fit in with the plan for me to disappear. I halted the ride at the edge of the river, telling everyone I would cross first to make sure it was safe. I made the horse rear, and I fell into the river. I quickly swam underwater to the deepest part, and then stayed under until I reached the cave that Jesse and I had discovered when we were kids. I swam inside, then surfaced and sat on the rocks. People searched the river, but no one knew about that cave but Jesse and me. At 9 p.m., the search had been called off for the night, and I swam downriver to a bridge. Jesse picked me up and took me to an airport 300 miles away from our town. I boarded a plane with my passport and flew to South America. Nobody bothered to check the airports or immigration. I was dead in the river as far as anyone who cared thought. Jesse had given me enough cash to stay in a nice hotel and live until I found what I was looking for. It is a hacienda. It is 3 times bigger than my ranch back home. I can run a nice-sized herd of beef cattle and a few horses. I started my new life when Jesse wired me the $500,000. Life is good and getting better every day since I met my neighbor's daughter. Back to the perspective of Jesse. I am the only person alive who knows Cody did not die in that river. I have kept that secret for over 20 years now, and I plan on keeping it until the day I die. No one will ever know, not even my friend with benefits who I married a couple of years ago. Do I still love Cody? Of course I do. I always will. But it would never have worked out between us, and I knew it. Cody is a real man's man. That's why I love him. He's what every young boy dreams of becoming, and every old man wishes he had been: an American hero, a cowboy. He doesn't have a single ounce of attraction to men. As for me, I've known I was attracted to men my whole life. And that's the end of today's story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Your support helps the algorithm push my content further. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me keep creating more stories for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.